Can't believe just seen Flavor Flav in Flake's Chip Shop. Can't say I've just seen Flavor Flav. And you can see the migration of Flavor Flav through Moseley just from the timeline. So they were really cool. It's a real mad combination this year and I love it. I didn't look at your mic, talking to your mic.
Can you hear me talking in my microphone? Good singing voice, I
always keep the singing in, you know that, don't you?
Good. If I sing, it's for people to hear.
Welcome everyone back to the Birmingham Food Podcast that is Breaking Bread. It has been a while.
Yo, everybody!
I'm your co-host, Liam.
I'm Carl. You know that
Carl.
already.
Yeah, you know us. You've seen us eating, usually.
Yeah, it's my mouth full of something. What food?
No comment.
That's what she said.
How you been, man?
Yeah, buzzing.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since we did a podcast. We're not going to pretend we don't see each other every week.
I know, we see each other a lot. So it's not like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a fake thing. We are actually really good friends that hang out a lot.
We didn't really say to people that we were taking a little break, but you know, this is our side, not hustle. This is our hobby, man.
Yeah, so we've got jobs and families and
7-year-old, 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old.
It's yours. My mom's 4.
4. Is she only 4? She's coming up to
4.
5.
She's coming up to 5.
Yeah. So yeah.
Busy time, but we've got a few in the bank, so there's a few coming out this series.
Yeah, when life gets over on top of us, we take a little break from the podcast, but we always come back.
Yeah, well, we had enough messages asking when you're bringing back, when you come on, I'm listening episode, I haven't got nothing to listen to. So it's just nice to get the messages of people asking us when we're coming back.
Yeah, it's nice to be nice. No, nice to be wanted.
It's nice to be wanted, yeah.
We've been out loads, and the newsletter kind of took a little break as well, because it's really hard doing that newsletter.
I was going to say, I can't believe you'd find the time.
I'm going to try keep doing it. But yeah, I will try and put all of the places we've been eating lately, because it's been it's gone into overload. Like the summer's come and everyone's doing everything. It's like festival season. I mean,
everything, every opening, everything seems to be all at once now.
Yeah, you went.
All go.
Yeah, Wingfest, man.
Yeah, Wingfest, that was awesome. Oh, mate. You know, I was chatting to them, that's the first one outside of London that's sold out, and it was really busy the Saturday I was there. The Sunday looked quite busy as well, but the Saturday was heaving. You know what? I don't normally like places when they're really busy, but it didn't take away from the fun. There was axe throwing, there was bands on, there was wings that were cheap. You can eat loads of different ones because you can just have like one of each.
People love wings, man. You know, we went to the launch at Greedy's and I thought, it's hard not to buy into the hype because everyone's so, like, all the organisers are so excited and they're like, it's going to be this, it's going to do this, and you're standing there thinking, mate, this is Birmingham, this ain't London. This might not work as well as you hope it will. And then it come to it, it's sold out, and I'm like, man, people just love wings.
I think it was 5,000 people or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was there, and I mean, I'm mad for wings anyway. I'd seen the Wing Festival before I even knew like we were going to get an invite or any of this. Yeah, hashtag invite, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. I was already going to go. I was like, yeah, that's right up my street.
Yeah, I had you in mind when I seen it. I thought, yeah, Carl would love that. I mean, even at the launch was the first time I kind of bought. I was that hyped into it. I was like, yeah, I like the wings.
Oh, mate, you'd have had a great time. There were some wicked wings there.
What was there? Just bands and everything?
Bands, axe throwing, loads of bars. Obviously, Greedy's were there. They were the best ones. Greedy's are phenomenal. Obviously, if you ain't eating there, you got to eat there. I mean, I don't know who's listening to this that hasn't eaten at Greedy's anyway.
Greedy's is the one.
They're awesome. And then a few others stood out. Like basically anyone that makes wings was there.
A few up from London then.
Yeah, I got to try Poor Boys. I've been after trying them for a while, and they were really good as well. They were some of the best there. There was loads of wicked stuff. Too many to name. There was a couple I wanted to try. I wanted to try Magic Wingdom, who were in Leamington.
Yeah.
And
They got a lot of hype, haven't they? They won one of the awards on the day.
they won both judge awards. So
But that's
they won
not
the judges
far from
ones.
here, really. Like,
No, it's not
Leamington.
far,
A
Leamington.
couple of train stops from Birmingham.
Oddly enough, I was chatting to the owner the day after because he was there in a few places, and he was saying that they started the other way. They had a restaurant, and then went into street food.
Yeah, it's weird when it goes like that.
Yeah,
I think that's more a sign of the times, like how big street food is now.
Yeah. Even restaurants are like, this is an extra income.
Why would you not? Look at Le Petit Bois, the way they've done it. Like,
Yeah, seafood shack, it works well.
Yeah, it's a good way of kind of diversifying.
Yeah, but Wing Fest will definitely be back next year, and 100% I'd be going again.
How many days is it in London? Just the 2? I wonder if they'll like.
I think it's still 2.
branch
I
out.
think it's
Imagine-
2 everywhere. I think you'd struggle if you got to like 3 or 4 days. Like that'd be a bit much.
Maybe
Maybe not for London because there's a lot of people there, but
Mate, London's ridiculous. London's so busy. Like.
I know
I was there the other day. It's just crazy, bless.
it is.
But luckily, you don't have to go to London to try wings. You can just come to the festival every year.
Go to festival, go to Greedy's.
Or just go to Great at Herbert Yard. I think that they're a permanent fixture at Herbert Yard.
It could be a permanent fixture in my house. It'd be fine. That'd be fine by me.
Another big festival that we always look forward to coming around now, and I think it's about 6 weeks' time, so tickets are still available. It's the Independent Birmingham Festival.
Yeah, they've got some tickets left. It will sell out. It always does.
Yeah.
And
Is
I mean, you just read the list of who's going to be there. Just the first 4 places, I was like, well, that's enough for me.
My only complaint is the lineup's too good.
Yeah.
I would like to try everything. But
It's one of them you'd have to go a couple of days to
Yeah.
try all the food you'd want to try, because literally anybody who's everybody who's anybody, everybody who's anybody is at this independent festival. Even bar wise, all the best bars are there, and
Yeah.
Wine Freedom are there. Love Wine Freedom.
We
Just
lost you
leaving that
for
there,
a
yeah. I
second.
just think about
Love
wine.
Wine
I haven't had wine for a couple of days. So
If there was a script, it would have
couple
said
of days.
pause for effect.
Yeah, pause for
That's
effect.
what you just did.
Give a whimsical look out the window. I can't see my whimsical look. I don't know. I think sometimes you can hear a whimsical look.
You just did then.
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, we love Independent Birmingham anyway. Like what they do to promote independent businesses in Brum. They need all the help they can get, especially now with everything that's going on. I mean, I think a cost of living crisis for households, like commercial properties, as a small independent, must be crazy. Like,
Yeah, it's
crazy.
going to get really difficult for people, I think.
Yeah, so sticking this, we might as well just call this a festival special, because
Yeah, pretty much.
today's episode is with, I mean, legend's just overused, isn't it? But like,
It's one of the main people behind one of the greatest things about Birmingham, in my opinion.
yeah, we talked to John, who's one of the
Organiser of Moseley
Organisers
Jazz and the Folk Festival, and a few other festivals and days and events here and there, but that's the main thing.
and that's what this main podcast is all about. Moseley Folk, Mostly Jazz. I keep calling it Moseley Folk Jazz.
Well, I think that's nearly sold out as well now, the Folk Festival, so if you're after tickets for that, I'd be buying them soon.
Yeah, amazing lineup. I mean, the Sunday for me, the Coral, Cooper Clark.
Yeah, the Coral are good.
Jethro
Supergrass
Tull.
the Friday, that's what I'd want to go to. I can't go, unfortunately.
Yeah, but just an awesome podcast, awesome festival.
It's great. It's just a great day. You know what? Even if you're not interested in any of the bands, it's just a good, fun day out. Drinking in a
You
field.
seem to book it before the bands were even announced.
I do. I'll book that Friday, no matter who's playing. Don't care. I could literally not know a person on the list, and I'd still go the Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we get into it all, and the food lineups always just. I mean, as a food festival, it's good.
Yeah, just as that alone, food and drink is. I mean, the drink there, it's purity.
And Moseley
All the
Park,
purity stuff.
stunning place. Really good podcast. John's so busy. We were so lucky to get a good hour to sit down with
that
him.
was nailing him down for an interview. It took
Yeah.
a couple of weeks to get sorted.
He was
but-
literally on his laptop before the podcast, and then as soon as it was over, he was checking his emails again, like he's flat out.
Yeah, the amount of work, I think, until you speak to him, you don't realise just how much work goes into these events.
Yeah, so hope you all enjoy this. We absolutely love making it, as we love making all the episodes. Don't forget to rate and review us. Spotify now does that as well, and iTunes. Help us spread the positive Birmingham is amazing message. Ladies and gentlemen, John from Mostly Jazz and Moseley Folk. John, really good to have you on, mate. How's things?
They're good, yeah. They're slowly edging towards normality after, I'm sure everybody that's been on your podcast has, had a crazy few years of,
they're not.
particularly in this industry, So, I mean, it's flipped the other way now. There's probably too much happening now.
Yeah, we haven't got no middle ground.
Yeah, there's no middle ground. We're straight back into it. Everything's kind of backlogged and rolled over, and everyone in the industry is just like running frantically around trying to make sure we can make all these things happen. So it's interesting, but hopefully next couple of years we're gonna find that middle ground again.
I was going to say, I was just at Moseley Jazz Festival, and it was one of the busiest years I think I've ever seen.
It was a bit. I mean, yeah, it was pretty much. It was totally sold out. We it was the first time we've just had to say no to guest lists. I mean, we had a lot on the guest list, but it got to a point where it was like, look, we can't. Like, even, I know your mate's dad's here, and I'm really sorry, but we're we're at capacity. But I think everyone was really, because we got a lot of support for the Jazz. To be fair, for Mostly Jazz, I think when it got cancelled in 2020, we thought that was it. We thought the festival was over. We didn't know about any government support. We didn't know about any loans. We ended up running a crowdfunding campaign, and the support we got was incredible. And then, of course, we thought 2021 would happen. It was like, well, it's definitely not going to be 2 years. And it nearly did. We got to February, and it was that moment where they announced the roadmap.
Yeah.
And it just went crazy, and tickets all flew out, and we're like, oh, amazing. This is what we need. And then it started changing within a month, and we started going, this is something's going to happen here. And they changed the roadmap. They moved it back a month, and we were a week on the wrong side.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So we just had to we've had to move it to 2022 or move it to September where the folk was, and just prayed to God it happened, and we opted for that one, and that was an experience.
Yeah, I can imagine you were busy.
It was crazy, yeah. And we was rebooking the lineup in 2 weeks, dealing with refunds because obviously we moved the dates, and a lot of people couldn't make the new dates. There's a lot of refunds, and then all the COVID, had people having to test to come in and stuff like that. So it was seriously full on. So this year to have to be stood in the park with no restrictions, watching it, amazing sun as you were there.
Yeah. It was unreal. It was one of the best times I've ever had there. I think it's because it was so long since I could enjoy it fully.
Yes.
As you've been able to, because I tend to go every year to the jazz festival. The folk ones, like, sporadically if there's someone really I want to see, but the jazz is just as soon as I find out the day it's on, I book it off work.
Yeah, amazing.
Just ready because I know I'm going.
Well, you see, I think we get a lot of people coming back that lived in Moseley, lived in Birmingham, that have moved out, and it's their yearly social, and they kind of come back and kind of reconnect. So again, particularly after COVID, I think that's really important. Just it felt like everybody. There wasn't that many people moaning. Which,
it's the happiest I've seen it as well, definitely.
Yeah.
I wonder what percentage of people book for the bands and which percentage just book for the atmosphere. Like,
it's difficult, isn't it? I mean, it's something we can never work out. I'd love to know because I could probably spend less money on the bands if we knew. But
I'll give you my two. I go on the Friday no matter who's playing,
Yeah.
and then if someone I really want to see is on the Saturday or Sunday, that's an extra ticket for me.
That's interesting. And there we go. So
So the Friday, I'm not even being funny. It's very rare I even make it to the last sort of band. So
Yeah.
I get there like opening doors, hit the bar straight away, got my little jerry can ready, filling up.
Yeah, man. So you're not in the pubs afterwards, then? You don't
Can't
get that
do
far?
much after, to be honest. I can't do much the next day, no doubt after.
I love that. Yeah, yeah. This is it. I mean, it's it's a weird one, isn't it? Because it's for me, it's like the busiest moment of my year. Like it's at points, it's my phone, my radio, and someone in front of me will be switching for like 10 hours, constantly. But then I stop and see people having fun. I just think, I'd just love to just come here once.
And have to work.
You have to do it, just walk in, exactly your plan. Walk in, doors, get your jerry can of beer, and see how long I would last. I'll probably be with you. I probably wouldn't make it to the headliner on that first year.
I did this year's specials. That must have been a good big coup to get them.
It was, yeah. It was a lot of money as well. But it was one of those moments where we knew we had to come back with something special. There we go.
There you go.
No pun intended. And with the locality, them being Coventry based band, it was a no brainer. I mean, when I did the maths on it, it was like, well, it's actually not that risky. It was more than we've ever spent. But if they weren't, I say it's the locality. They're a Midlands band, and seeing that in Moseley Park,
Oh, it was special.
Yeah.
Really, literally again.
Pun again.
Keep
It's
getting
like, I
used.
keep doing this the whole year. The whole year, we're trying to find other words. It's a special. It's so special, and I was like, wait. But it was incredibly special, you know. And yeah, hearing those songs, it always makes me laugh because I know you've got an Irish background. The Ghost Town,
Yeah.
the episode of Father
The
Ted.
national anthem.
It's just like, even though walking through the crowd and just, you know, feeling the buzz, and, you know, I've got all these phones going, radios going in my head, I'm just thinking, please stand for the national Irish anthem. It's just really, you know, I was just had a little moment for myself.
It really was one of them moments. It's just that's like the two things are joined now forever.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, if anyone's listening, haven't seen Father Ted, check out the what episode would that be? It's like the cat. Is
The win the car episode.
Is it with the car episode? There
Yeah,
we go.
The raffle.
There, it's a raffle. That's the one. Yeah, the raffle. So we're slowly diverging off into classic comedies
You know, I
from
could
the
do a
90s.
Father Ted podcast. That'd be no effort for me.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
There's got to be a Father Ted podcast.
Yeah, I'd be amazed if there wasn't.
I'm sure there is. Yeah, I want to get a van just so I can drive to Ireland, camp, and just go and visit the Father Ted house. That's like high on my list.
Yeah, I know someone that has.
Yeah.
You can't go in it or anything.
Well,
But
that's
you
it,
can,
isn't
you
it?
can go outside and you can see it, but that's about it.
Yeah, I just want the photo outside, really.
Yeah.
That's all I want. But anyway, I've digressed, as I'm sure happened a few times. But yeah, to be in that field and specials was incredible, and it's, you know, it makes it all worthwhile. You know, it's a pretty crazy thing to experience from a book aside, seeing it actually materialise. Because before that, in reality, it's just a name on a spreadsheet, and you're just, you know, you're working out what time they're loading in and what time the line check and sound checks are, and what time the bus is arriving, has it got power, and, you know, when's their gear turning up, and have we got, you know, their rider and the drinks they want, and answering ticket emails, and, you know, it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
It's
What would be on a specials rider?
they were pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you're
if-
allowed to say.
I mean, contractually probably not, but I can say that, you know, I can say they weren't too lavish. It was respectful. Like, I looked at it and went, okay, good, fair. Whereas some have looked at and it's like they want a massage backstage, and I know someone that wants oysters, and I won't say the name, oysters, and I think it was a Bentley or a Rolls to drive around. I said her, so there's a clue.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Is that why you got Ben there to do the
I know you'd
seafood
have had the
check?
oysters. this
Exactly,
year.
yeah, we did, yeah. Well, that's it with the food. You know, the food was a big thing.
This year, the food lineup was on a par with any food festival I've been to.
But this is it. This is what we wanted to do. I think sometimes we can be a bit slow in. Come on, let's make it like this works. These are our friends, and it's really difficult. But the reality is, in Birmingham now, the street food scene is incredible. Well, the food scene is incredible. It's probably, you know, outside London, it's probably the best scene. So we had to step it up, and we had to kind of go, look, we need to, you know, bring in people like, you know, Bonehead and Original Patty Man and people like that, and Chicana, and, you know, who else got English Indian. It's just grown. And this year, as you said, it was almost like, you know, that was part of the advertising this year. It was like, you know, promoting the experience. So you were saying earlier about, like, I wonder how many people come for the bands. We're trying to shift that a little bit and be like, well, look, if you come, trust us in the music, you're going to have a great time. But when you come, you know you're going to get good drinks and good food. I think that's really important for a festival.
Yeah, and just how varied it is. Well, because obviously you've got Le Petit Bon with their shack, and they're doing bottles of Cremant with Paul's oysters, and then Bonehead. I'm not going to lie, I went straight to the Bonehead stage.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
when I got there.
Yeah, but we know it's important. You know, it is really important. You know, and it's kind of, you know, with people like Dig with Dining guys and what they've done in the last 10 years, you know, for the Birmingham food scene. It's incredible, really. And I think they've set the bar, and we've all got, you know, when it comes to food, we've all got to, you know, try and reach that bar.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's you know, can't have someone in a little shack selling baked beans. It's got to be like, you know, it's got to be the best of the best. I think this year we achieved that. So I'm looking forward to working on that again next year.
Digbeth Dine's pretty much decimated the shit burger van. The old shit burger vans.
Yes, yeah, which is true.
They're
I mean,
gone now. You can't just do that anymore.
you can't, you know, even like you go down the football, and it's, you know, the burger vans that, you know, they're a thing of the past in a lot of places now. It's like they've moved on to street food, which is great. You know, it's the experience, because, you know, the burger vans outside football stadiums, you know, not that cheap anyway.
No, they're not.
No.
So
But what you get is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
The
yeah.
profit margins are good.
Yeah. For the old school burger vans.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I go down Birmingham City.
Oh, there you go. We've got fat snags down there now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you can actually go down and get some food. So the whole is the food scene is being pushed out to every industry now. It's like, look, this is where we are, and I think that's Birmingham as a whole at the moment. I think it took a long time to we'd all go down London, go up to Manchester, you go to Berlin, Lisbon, all these places. You think, I just wish this could be this is doable in Birmingham, and it's happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's happened, and we're in the midst of the Commonwealth, and everyone's looking at Birmingham. People are visiting here. It was quite funny, actually. I just heard a guy on the train say, because he basically went to Redditch today, and he was from Chicago. And he was... No, we shouldn't laugh at that, should we? We should laugh.
No, it doesn't sound like
But he went there he was talking about Jimmy Page, Robert Plant connection. He went out there, kind of a bit of a pilgrimage, and he was just like, man, what a day. And I was like, well, you think Redditch is good? So come and try.
Yeah, in for a treat.
Yeah, in for a treat here, mate. Come on.
All I can think about is the really cool like shopping malls they have in America with like roller coasters, and then all I can think about is the Kingfisher.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, look, I spent my childhood going there. It was pretty much every Sunday. Getting my dad to buy me some, a new CD, a new football top. So, but no, it's just really funny. But it's a really good time what we experience at the moment because the eyes are on us and people are visiting. And I think it's probably the first time we're not, because we are very kind of defeatist and not these defeatist, but like
Self-deprecating
that's
is the word.
I've always got to be careful how I say that. I keep saying the wrong word when I say that. It's
way worse.
Yeah, it's way worse, but no one wants to come then. But
I think we're eternally pessimistic by nature as well. We have this it just comes naturally. It's going to be crap.
Yeah.
Everything Birmingham does, you just know it's going to be crap. And we're going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
We'll plod along, and despite it being crap, we'll plod along. But then the opening games came, the opening ceremony, and you're sitting there thinking, this is bloody brilliant.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
It's fantastic.
And to be totally honest, in the build-up, I just wasn't that bothered about the Commonwealth Games. It's great, and it's going to bring loads of people to the city, and it's going to make loads of local businesses money after COVID, and introduce Birmingham to a larger audience. Great, but I didn't quite realise that actually it's probably what we needed because we've shifted a lot in 10 years, and people have still got you just say from Birmingham. Oh, I've been through it. It's like, well, great. Actually, it's really good. And anyone that comes, always just says the people are amazing. It's now, well, actually, the city's there now, I think.
It's coming together,
it's
isn't it?
getting there. I don't know if it's there. I think
a few
there's
bits
still
missing,
a
I
lot,
find, from the city. The middle ground restaurants are still missing, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Food-
The
Food-wise,
bistro places, we're behind there.
But I think it's coming.
But everything,
Yeah.
I still think we laugh about it, but it does bug me a little bit that we do just accept that things are just a little bit crap.
Yeah.
And I don't think anywhere else does that. I think most places would call it out and say, well, why is this shit? Why is it? Why have we got trams that are now broke?
Yeah.
And I understand they were made in a different country and technical issues happen, but why did you close Digbeth High Street and then put permit parking around the whole of Digbeth so you can't get here by car?
Oh, there's no
train station.
There's no
tram.
There's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, Birmingham has been built.
I feel like we sometimes just try and shoot ourselves in the foot just a little bit.
Well, it's always felt like there's no kind of town planner, like a bigger vision. It's just we just go, okay, well, we need this now. So is that going to go rather than thinking a 20-year plan? And hopefully that's happening now.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know it's very easy for me to sit here from the comfort of this chair and say, "Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that?" And then do nothing about it. But,
no, but you're paying your taxes. You're entitled to say, "Why aren't you doing this?"
Yeah, I want more sometimes. I do want more.
You're allowed
but
to.
naturally, it's going to happen. It is. If I think about growing up compared to now.
Oh God.
It's totally different, and we have got things. We've all got somewhere that we go. Yeah, that's wicked. That's where I want to go. And I think I think that exodus is coming from London and other cities. I think our population is going to grow up here,
especially with HS2.
Yeah,
you can get to London in like an hour from Birmingham.
A lot of the businesses already started moving here, so.
Birmingham's
on this, all right, it's not there, but it's on this what's a precipice? Is that the word?
Yeah.
Of really going up, and I think just people relocating to Birmingham, more money coming to Birmingham will just give us all hopefully more business, more because it's a difficult market. So, we see it with gig tickets, and we speak to agents, and a lot of the time, most agents say Birmingham's the hardest like major city to sell by a long shot. You know, London, Manchester, and then Leeds, Brighton, Cardiff, Newcastle. You know, Liverpool, even Nottingham. These can be like really outsell on the up and coming bands. You know, we're pretty good on the people that are, you know,
the
the
people
legends
that coming up that comes through in the big bands. But yeah, I get it. It's the middle grounds they sort of because I go to a lot of gigs.
Yeah.
And I do find myself going to Nottingham and Manchester to go and see bands, and I'm like, how many fucking venues have we got in Birmingham where you could have played? It's ridiculous. There's ridiculously good venues. The bigger ones, some of them, I'm not going to lie, I don't really like the bigger sort of venues.
Yeah, I
understand. I don't think they're that great. But for smaller, mid-sized venues, I think we're perfect.
Yeah.
We've got that nailed, especially small gig venues. There's some places that are brilliant.
Well, this is it. So I think, you know, so at the moment we've got that reputation of it's a hard sell. Why is it a hard sell? Maybe we're not, you know, the most affluent city. But as people relocate here, bring that, you know, money, they start wanting to go to things. There's more people to go to gigs. You know, maybe that creates more venues. You know, as you said, I think that kind of middle venue. You go to Manchester, you've got things like Deaf Institute and Gorilla, and they're kind of like, you know, a kind of independent bar, but a really good venue, rather than homogenised. You know, I won't name and shame the venue, but you know, a homogenised venue that you just can get in every city where the sound's crap and the beer's crap. You know, and I think that's coming in the next 5 years. So I hope so. And I just think it all starts feeding off each other. I think we're starting to bounce now. It's exciting.
It is. So this is a massive markup from. I mein, let's go back how great the festival is, how great Birmingham is now. Yeah. This wasn't the case when you first started.
It was. I joined 11 years ago. So Mostly Folk was 4 or 5 years old.
Do you know how it was started? Or
I do, yeah. So the director Carl came up with the idea. He had a marquee company, and he just heavily got into folk music. He always liked Neil Young and stuff like that. But he hit like a crest of a wave. There was this new folk scene that was just happening, and he kind of tuned into it early. And you know, he'd been to Moseley Park, and I think they used to have a festival there called L'Esprit Minute, and it just stopped. It wasn't going anymore because I think just financially they couldn't make it work. So there was an opportunity there. So he spoke to the park, and I went to get some flyers printed, and the other guy, Jerv, who's the other director, he was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" So I can make a festival. So, I'd love to do that. He goes, "Well, let's do it together, share the risk." And they just did it, and you know, they put it on in 2006. And probably, from what I've seen, it was a little caravan with the side cut off, and they kind of just slowly started building it from there. And then I came in at 2011 with, I guess, processes, because I used to run a medical company at this time, which is really weird. But I could see like little things that they weren't doing or they weren't keeping track of, and just started doing that. And together, the three of us have just really expanded. And they started the jazz, and just it's just grown and grown and grown for the last 11 years. A long time, that is crazy.
So your first one, how different was that to the last one that just came on?
It was very different, yeah. Yeah, we had so for the jazz, we had on Saturday night we had Matthew Herbert Orchestra. Now he's an experimental kind of musician. He DJs, he has orchestras, he produces, and he does really interesting projects. Like one of his projects was the life cycle of a pig. So on stage, he went from piglet to basically food.
Yeah.
And he wrote music all around that. It probably shocked a lot of people, and a lot of people went, well, that's how it is, and we all eat meat, whatever. So he does really crazy stuff, but he did this orchestra, and it was the first time my experience of riders. We talked about earlier about riders.
Yeah.
And it said he needed 20 copies of today's The Sun, the newspaper, and I think it was 20 or 30 dead batteries.
Right.
Where do you get like dead batteries from? So I was there, and it was my first year. I've never kind of done this thing before, and I just think I don't know where to get dead batteries from. So I just went to Tesco's, the used battery bin.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of picking them out of there slowly, one by one. Security came around, was like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" So I was just taking some of the batteries. And he goes, "Well, they're ours." So, "Well, they're dead." And I was like, "Yeah, you need to get out, please." And I was like, "Oh." I had no idea what to do. So I was like, "How are we going to get these dead batteries?" But anyway, I can't remember what he used the battery for, but the Sun newspaper used it as percussion. And he just ripped it up on stage down a mic.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to say you're short and bog roll that year.
Yeah. Well, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it was turned into mush and thrown away. But it was really nice percussion. He was like,
yeah, I can imagine.
Kind of worked. So, yeah, going from that and the crowd, it's probably 5 times what it is, what it is now compared to then. And it's just a whole different thing. Everything's changed, The the way we do the ticketing, the way we sell stuff, changing the systems there, the PA company, the staging, the dressing, the marketing. It's just a whole different beast.
Because the park's perfect for it as well, because it all slants.
It is.
So wherever you stand, you've got, it's like what's the place in London? Is it the Astoria, where the whole stage slants all the way down to the front, and it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect. I mean, we we did look at kind of was there other options, because we get to big size and we're thinking, well, can we make this double the capacity? And we start looking at options with that. But I think I think you're right. That's its charm. I think it probably sells on that as well. And
you can sit down and usually see the stage.
But exactly, and it's just, if you've got kids as well, it's amazing, because you've got a natural barrier. I mean, and they do let the kids run wild. It's like, which is amazing with the parents, but it's sometimes like, right, whose child's this? That kind of thing happens quite a bit. But
get the kid off the stage, mate.
Yeah, that's the one. We always reunite them. But it's nice, for parents just to kind of let go and know their kid's safe, which is it's quite difficult these days, I guess, at kind of big gigs and venues.
That's why I've never seen any aggro there.
No.
Can't picture anything.
No.
Even slightly threatening.
No.
That I've ever seen there.
No, there was a snake once. It's not aggro. Well, it might be. I don't know if it was aggressive. It might have been, but
was it a native or it escaped or something?
It had escaped.
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus.
So yeah. So that was a funny one. The radio came through and went, because who'd you call?
I know.
Production. There's a snake. I thought,
Police.
Well, the police.
Oh, there's a snake.
Yeah, slipped straight out the handcuffs. Yeah, it's. But yeah, no, we had to. Luckily, there was a reptile shop over the road in Moseley at the time.
There was. Yeah.
Years ago.
I remember that, yeah.
And they came over and took it. But there's always some weird thing like that happening. There's always some like strange little thing where you're like, okay, we're all sorted, things are going well. Oh, there's a snake. Stuff like. Or I'm sure one year someone tried to walk across the lake in the water. That was before my time. But fair play for that.
Yeah, Jesus.
The may or may not being drugs involved.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is. Yeah. Who knows? They were sent out anyway. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Do you ever foresee a time when maybe you outgrow the park?
No. Well, it's obviously always a conversation, because we're ambitious with what we do, but I think it's a blessing in disguise that it's the size it is, because you've seen festivals. I mean, look like Festival, for example. It was huge. It was doing 40,000 people, and they're just having to compete and just having to spend more money every year. And we find ourselves doing that. Spending more money every year. But we're kind of at a level now where we're like, okay, well, this is what we can spend and this is what we can sell, and we're happy with that. And I think it's just a blessing. I think this works. This is good, and the park's amazing, and everyone can chill and sit down. And it's a great vibe. Like when the sun's going down on that lake.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, we had the Whalers play on Sunday when the sun was just really kind of starting to settle, and it was just like, wow. So and we're not going to get that in a square bit of grass. You know what I mean? Like just a standard park. So I don't know. I don't think we.
Well, from a customer point of view, I think it's absolutely perfect. The place, even just for normal. As I said, we were talking before this about the Ocean Coliseum gig that was super famous, where they did nights there.
Yes,
and that was just as because usually by the time that stuff comes on at the night stuff, I'm usually quite gone anyway. I've seen there, I've been on the beers all day. It's great, but that was more turn up, and it was just more like a gig.
Yeah, exactly.
And just as a venue, you don't appreciate till you see a big band on there just how good of a venue it actually is. With the views and the.
It's really intimate as well.
Yeah,
that's the big thing, because you can't get a bigger stage in there, because if people listening haven't been, it's between an alleyway between Dixon's and what used to be Pizza Express, which is really odd for a festival. It's a 4 metre wide alley or whatever, and we can't get an Arctic down there, so we can't get a massive stage. So what we've got is what we've got, and it's small, but it makes the gig. So we have to book bands, and specials, for example. I was like, we can get the money you want, we can get everything else. Just need to let you know this is the size of the stage. And he's like, oh, okay, that's very small. I was like, it is, but we've put huge bands on there, much bigger bands in terms of production and numbers than specials. But they will go away as one of their favourite gigs, because there's, you can see the crowd, and you can just see, as you say, it's the sloping amphitheatre effect, and you can just see the whole audience when you're on stage. It's pretty amazing from the other side.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'd like to see that.
I was going to say, well, when we had Burt Bacharach play, he was, we got a really cool video of him going, if you'd sent me photos of this, it would never compare to what I'm looking at now. And he was like, this one afterwards, he was like, this is one of my favourite places I've played, because you could just sit there and just see the sea of people rising up. and everyone's singing and arms going, and it's and and you're not on a massive stage 20 feet away from the crowd, and high up. You're there, you can literally have a conversation with someone. I mean, we're not far away from each other now to what I could be on stage and you be in the front row, and I think that's pretty unheard of for shows that size.
Yeah, there's plenty of interaction.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, there is. Yeah, which is great, especially with Brums again. There's always there's always like cheeky Brummy shouting something, and I think the artists really enjoy it. Yeah.
Moseley's it's changed a lot in 10 years, 11 years.
It has.
But it's still cool. But do you think it would have worked anywhere else? Because it's so successful now. Do you think it would have got to where it is now without Moseley?
That's an interesting question. No, I think it was a time and place. I think if we'd done the festival now and we tried to go and do it in Moseley Park at the size it is, I don't think it would work. Because I don't think you wouldn't have built a reputation. I think the residents wouldn't know it's hit them, in terms of something like that just turning up. But I think because it's naturally grown, it's become a part of the community. It works. But I think you are right. I do think it was a time and place. I mean, Moseley was all the places that you might go to now, like these Sturches in Kingsheath. It was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Moseley. It's changed, but then there's still kind of hope. I mean, Costa's pulled out now.
Yeah.
Pizza Express has gone again.
Yeah.
So there is space for more independents to come back again, and there's still a load of good independents there. And
That's on the landlords to allow that, though, isn't it? And not charge extortionate rates.
But I suppose the house prices as well. You think probably 11 years ago, Moseley was quite affordable, but maybe but now it's it's serious to live in Moseley, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, there was also a thing that we're all getting older. I don't know how old you two are, but we're getting older now. So it's like I always try and be wary of the glory. Oh yeah, they were the best days, because I bet the glory days. You should have been there, kids, because I think those kids are probably they could come up with some cool stuff and plan and revitalise, and sometimes it just takes generation or whatever just to kind of go. Because landscapes change, don't they? So
Sturchley's cool, man. Sturchley's very cool. Very young as well.
And 10 years ago, exactly, no one saw that coming.
Definitely not.
So if I did, I'd have bought a load of property.
Well, yeah, wouldn't we all? I know, wouldn't we all? Yeah. It's but so it's interesting. I think it's then Sturch is going to move even further south, and as I say, the more people come to Birmingham and these little city centres or town centres, they're gonna. I live in Northfield, so I'm proper. Right on Northfield,
Right
so
there.
I've always lived there. Like, come on, it's happening.
It's coming down there slowly.
Yeah, we'll dig, Div Diamond put Herbert Shard in. It's Longbridge.
That's it, sort of catching you in the middle then.
Yeah, it's coming, man. It's happening. But if we have all these suburbs that are really ticking, then I think what happened with Moseley as well. I think it probably just the seams probably burst under the pressure of everyone going there.
It was the place to go.
It was the place, and I think
it was for ages as well. It wasn't just like a small period of
No.
time. For ages, it was the place to go.
And I think once something becomes popular, then for really nice reasons, then that's when the bad stuff can start kind of coming in and happening. I think that's now gone again, and maybe the buzz about it's dropped. That's what I'm saying about the young generation. That's where they can kind of kick in and be like, okay, they might go, oh well, Search is good. Why shouldn't we do Sick and Moseley? As if they missed those kind of 15 years of Moseley being amazing.
I think people in the UK have that thing as well. And I'm probably guilty of it a little bit as well. You love it while it's just before cool.
Yeah, of
and
course.
while it's cool, but then as soon as it gets too cool, you're like, nah, fuck that place.
Yeah. I know it's true. Yeah, it's the same with bands, isn't it?
Yeah, especially bands, definitely. Yeah.
First two Kings of Leon albums, incredible, and it's as soon as I go to stadium, we're like. Yeah, I'm still now the problem now, but I don't even know what album I'm on 8.
No, it still annoys me. As soon as he became coherent and he's singing, that's when I lost interest in them.
But it's
as soon
funny
as you
that,
could understand what he was saying, I was like, right, that's it, I'm off now.
but again, it's like our kids, you should have been there for when album 1 came out. It was it was incredible days. But yeah, it is interesting that kind of coolness. But luckily, the festivals have outlasted that, and I think what's really interesting now is we're seeing the kids that used to, there's people that I know that I just purely know for the festivals that I've seen grow up, people that I've saw bring their babies and they're now 10, or they were 5, even pre-COVID, they've come and they've shut up, and I'm like, oh my god, these are and now there's a group of 18 to 20 years, and they're now coming, and it's funny seeing the photos. You see the photographers, and you kind of say, oh yeah, there's a little group of kids there, and they're kind of they're the next generation. So we've got this really nice thing that it's a family event. Everyone brings a family, but actually the kids are growing older and coming themselves. So why couldn't this last for decades. Do you know what I mean?
It's just festivals are so popular as well now.
Yeah.
We've been going to festivals for a long time, haven't we? I remember we went to the first Reading we went to. It didn't sell out.
Yeah, well, that
Like,
I
it
know.
wasn't even a sellout.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
There wasn't even half that amount of festivals.
We've
So
done that exact thing with Reading. As soon as it got too cool, we
as soon
were
as you had to try to
Reading.
get tickets, you're like, oh, fuck's sake, is it even worth it?
Yeah, I know. But this is it. Yeah, but it's true. You know, the year Glastonbury didn't sell out that one year when Jay-Z headlined and
Yeah.
it nearly bankrupted them. And now it's like, it's gone in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
So-
I've been a few times and we've been it's one of them, you're just lucky
Yeah.
to get a ticket a lot of
Yeah,
the time.
for sure. But yeah, you know, we're kind of like we're like an introduction. It's funny, we get people that are like 50 that have never been to a festival, and you know they're like, I'm bringing my mum. She's really worried about it. You know, it's the first festival, and then sitting there, and oh my god, I'm coming every year. You know, it's like because it's that easy. Because if you're like, right, I'm tired now. It's okay. Well, it's a 30-second walk to the door, and you can get a taxi. And if you're from Birmingham, you'll be home in 10-20 minutes.
You're not bad, in your own bed that night.
Yeah,
It's great.
Well, exactly. It's a winner. So that's how I'd love to go to it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine, mate.
Yeah, rather than wandering around the park at 12 o'clock at night going, right, okay, come on.
So you got the jazz and the folk. Is there a temptation to change one of them into something else, or a temptation to do a third one and make like
Yeah.
a pop or a rock one?
Yeah, there
or...
is, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the, we started doing, just,
That noise was the chair, by the way, wasn't it?
we tried to do Lunar Festival, which was in Warwickshire as our third one. And that was incredible. We had some amazing bands play that. And that was camping as well. So that was like, really full on. But I just think we're just competing with ourselves, because no matter what we did as a team, we still had the same marketing principles and groups, and we essentially had 3 festivals in 2 months, which just people could not afford. I mean, some people did. And they were so good as well. So the temptation is always there, and we're always thinking of ideas, always, and we're always in discussions. And at the moment, it's just trying to go, look, let's just do the 2 the best we can. Let's just enjoy that.
Yeah.
But it's just it's hard because
Well, is that sort of the name of it's mostly jazz? Was that so you can work in the odd band like the specialists? Oh, they're not
Yeah,
jazz
yeah,
bands,
totally.
so is it? So you can throw in a couple of bands here and there.
Yeah, and we never intended to move it, but if we tried to move Moseley Folk out of Moseley,
Yeah.
it doesn't work, does it?
Raw.
Yeah, it's a bit raw. So now mostly jazz. So okay, we could go and do mostly jazz as well, like on a different weekend in London or Manchester or Newcastle, whatever. So that's got a bigger brand, and maybe that's something we look at. Just doing like 500 ones and just 500 cat ones, just see how that works, which excites me. But the notion of just keep trying to do another one in Birmingham, I just think it's we've got our two that work. We've got our audience, we've got our niche. As many other businesses got their own little niches, and it works. So yeah, we've got to try, and it's really hard because you've got to kind of set your hands and go, just don't do it. Especially in winter when you've done the festivals and you've had 2 weeks, recovery, and you're like, right then, let's go again. And someone goes, oh, I've been thinking about this, and you go, brilliant, let's do it. And then you forget, and you come around to March, you go, oh, we've got to deliver all 3 now, and we're swamped and tired, and we spend loads of time on this new event because it's not selling maybe, when we should just be working on the jazz and the
Once
folk.
you had.
So it's crazy, but
I suppose you've got that wiggle room, and you probably have with the council to get the permits to just like what you do with Devotional things, just throw a one-off gig every now and then.
yeah, that's what we'd like to do. I think that's the one. And again, not walking, not running, not trying to just. Cause we did the thing called Beyond the Tracks as well in the city centre, which had Ocean Colour Scene play. Had like Ocean Colour Scene, the Coral, Maximo Park, Jaws, Carbarat from Libertines. And that's just all on one day.
Yeah, it's a
And it
good
did
line.
really well, but then one of the days didn't sell that well, and it just and then the council had to take the land for HS2, and we thought we had it maybe 3 years, and we just had it for that one, so we didn't have a chance to kind of build it. But I think just walk. If we can get even just another night in Moseley Park, and I say do Ocean Colour Scene or something like that, that's amazing. Let's do that. Let's be happy with that kind of thing.
Yeah, be all over it.
Yeah.
I know diplomatically, you're not meant to say, but do you have a favourite?
Favourite festival?
No favourite artist from over
That's
the
played?
years? Yeah.
That is a tough one. I'm trying to think of, because we've had some. Public Enemy were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We was kind of really stuck because I think it was Sugar Hill Gang. I think pulled out a month before, and we were like, oh great, we need a hip hop band. We didn't think we could afford Public Enemy, but we managed to put it together and do it. And when we announced that, it just sold. And they were really funny because the next day they had a free day, so they stayed in Birmingham, and they came. We loved it. Can we come back and hang out there? I'm like, yeah, we'll sort your dressing room out. We'll sort your food. Just come down, hang out. And a lot of the bands that played, they use the samples for their records. So the records are all made up a lot of Roy Ayers and Chaka Khan or whatever. And Roy Ayers was playing that night, and they were so excited. They all sat in the pit. And whilst Roy Ayers was playing, Flavor Flav just jumped on stage, grabbed the mic, started rapping. And Roy Ayers was like, "What is going on?" And it was just, man, they were just cool, man. They went out afterwards into Moseley, and we had the old dance centre as the after party.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Flavor Flav was just stood at the queue getting a drink, and we was just like, "Oh, Flav, do you want to?" Your crew's kind of backstage, got loads of beers. And he's like, "No, I'm with my people. I'm cool. I'm with my people." And we're like, "Okay, cool. This is really strange." And obviously, I work I'm working full on over the weekend. So I was like, "Look, I need to go." Because everyone's happy. They had a driver with them that was kind of looking after them. They're taking back to the hotel when they want to. And I woke up in the morning, going on Facebook, and it was like, can't believe just seen Flavor Flav in Flake's chip shop. Can't say I've just seen Flavor Flav. And you can see the migration of Flavor Flav through Moseley just from my timeline. So they were really cool. But Baccarat was like, legend, lovely, because Krang had been pulled out on the day because the drum went to hospital, which was gutting. And we just rang Bert Baccarat's manager up and was like, "Well, we've got to try and fill a slot. Would Bert want to do more?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, do you want to ask?" He was like, "No, what do you need?" I was like, "Well, could you do 40 minutes more?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem. Consider it done."
But he easily can do as well with that
But
car.
he's 92.
Jesus.
So you know what I mean? Or he's 90, putting on 495 now, but he was 92 at the time, and you just think, I was ringing him. I was like, God, I'm asking a 92-year-old bloke to do another 40 minutes. And he's like, "No, love to it." And then he turned up. It was amazing. It's really good. George Clinton, were a lot of fun. Parliament Funkadelic, that was funny. Chaka Khan turning up was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
Trying to think who else. I mean, the folk is Johnny Marr was good for the folks. I love the Smiths, and he's probably the only one that I've actually gone right. I'm not leaving the park until I've spoken to Johnny Marr. I say hello. So I just kind of popped my head into the dressing room, and he came out and he spoke for like 20 minutes, half an hour. Knew nothing, just spoke about new bands. He was a dude, man.
If you were going to make one of the Smiths, it would definitely be Johnny Marr you'd want.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Well, I don't know. I'd quite like to sit down with Morrissey.
How long for, though?
Well, yeah. Well, exactly.
It'd be the most exhausting.
It'd either be a whole evening drinking and chatting, or like 5 minutes and be like, "No, get me out of here." Wouldn't it?
Yeah. Fuck this.
Yeah. But no, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But we've had some great musicians, man.
How does it work? Do you make a list? Do you sit down as a 3 or a 4 with Amy and say, these are the bands we could look at?
Well, we do.
Have you ever been laughed at? Have you wrote down a band, everyone's laughed, and then you've managed to get them?
We've definitely got bands that we're such a small festival that we probably shouldn't have got. And then obviously you got to deal with all the production where they're used to massive stages. Like, no, as I said, you got this little stage, and can we park our bus by backstage? Like, no, you got to park on the side of the road and enter through a little gate and walk through a woods. But you kind of deal with that. You go book the band first, get them inside it, and then you're like, okay, we'll talk about it.
It must be so mad though, because you're not trying to sell it, because a band could be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm up for anything, but you got to say it to the manager, haven't you?
Yeah, and the agent.
And the agent's probably sensible.
Yeah, it's their job to filter out any issues. Yeah, before it gets that far. But every band that comes just walks away going this, because otherwise they just probably drive in a lorry, park in a car park, just see the back of a massive stage all day, go on stage, play to a big crowd. All right, fair enough. Playing to a big crowd's amazing. Come back off, sit in a tour bus in a car park. Whereas ours, it's like they sit by the lake. Everything's in a short radius. It's got really nice street food, and it's just chilled, and they just sit and chat to people. And I think that's a real big difference. But in terms of picking the bands, it's like now, like if I said, okay, well, who'd be your 3 headliners? Who do you want to see Mostly Jazz? But who would you go? Like, who'd you think?
I'd have back from last year. Comet Is Coming.
Yeah,
that was one of the best. We'll talk about some of the best things I've seen there.
Yeah,
I already liked them, but I didn't really like them. And then they came on, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? This is unbelievable!" And that was one of the best things I've seen there.
Oh, they're incredible.
That was crazy good.
But it's just it's literally just I kind of it's my favourite bit. I've got my list, and I kind of put them into spreadsheets. I know roughly what bands are worth, and start the conversations. And someone's like, "Oh yeah, they've got a new album out. Actually, they're on the road next summer." And a lot of time it's like, "Well, yeah, they're over in August, so it won't work." And okay, out. They're not touring, out. They want this much money, out. And you go through that list quite quickly.
Yeah, I
You
can
know.
imagine.
But
How does it work more for the lower down the list? Is that harder to fill than the higher up part?
I mean, I really like I like the bands that I listen to. I probably don't listen to on a daily basis loads of big bands. I tend to listen to a lot of new bands. I mean, we book a lot of local stuff, and there's an apply thing for that. I mean, I listen to every band pretty much. I can't respond to everyone because it's just a lot. Be a lot. I can do it, but that's really interesting. Or you get like an agent will go, look, I've just signed this band. Their album's coming out next year. Here's a preview link to it. They've got this person involved, this person involved, and it's mega. And you listen to it, and it's like, oh yeah, that is really good. So you can kind of get like a sneak preview of what's hopefully going to land as like the next big band kind of thing. So I mean, the big ones, the ticket sellers are the top bands, the headliners, and that's tough because sometimes we get to like February, March, and we still haven't got a headline, and we're like, okay, we really, something needs to happen like it's now.
Yeah.
So that can be stressful. Whereas you can then with the smaller bands, you can kind of just cherry pick, and there's a huge list of bands I love to book that are smaller. So it's great fun. I love it. It's nice when the festival's finish in September and I just have a few days off and then I go right then. 2023.
Start planning the next one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already have. I've already started.
I was going to say, you must have already started it for next year.
Yeah, no, I've got a few offers.
Is it easier the more you do with the size of the festival, since you've done it before? Is it more just a case, we've got to book some food and we've got to book some bands? Is the rest of it sort of, that's the same as last year?
There's always things changing and we always want to improve things. And there's always something.
There's more stages now, isn't there? You've got the whole other part of the parks doing stuff now.
And we always want to tweak, make it better. And there's always something. But my immediate thing is obviously focus on Moseley Folk now. It's happening in September. But yeah, I'm already looking at next year. I'm already having conversations with bands and agents. And it gets easier with the bands because you get your reputation, but your relationship with agents as well. So, you can just... I could send an email out to an agent that's got 20, 30 bands and be like, right, you know who we are. Here's our dates. Here's the ones I'm interested in. Who you got? Who's got albums coming out? And they'll just respond, go, da-da-da-da. Like, okay, cool. Put them in a spreadsheet. There's 5 bands. Do that again. You just pull a long list together and you start trying to pull a lineup together.
You got Supergrass this year at the Photo Festival, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think the last time I went to the Photo Festival, Gaz Coombs was actually playing.
It was, yeah. Well, the
last time I went, he was playing.
Well,
so if I go again, Nabby, I'll just see him again.
Well, his tour manager was like, is it still the same with no vehicles on site? I was like, yeah. I was like, you've got a tour bus, haven't you? I was like, yeah. I was like, you haven't got an Arctic lorry, have you? I was like, yeah. Okay, great. So, but yeah, you're right, it's not very folky, is it? We know that. Friday's always been like a bit more indie at the folk festival. We just like to break out from it a little bit. Yeah. It's just always worked. The first year, we put Ocean Colour Scene on in... It's 2013 at Moseley Folk on the Friday, and it was amazing. So we were like, well, let's not limit ourselves. We'll have folk roots, Americana, but if we want to put an indie band on, let's not worry about that. And it fits. I think people in Moseley, Supergrass is a great band from.
But I don't understand how anyone wouldn't want to see Supergrass.
Well, exactly.
I've seen them a couple of times, and they're fantastic.
Yeah,
they're just so fun.
Yeah, in that, as we said, in that setting where the stage is so low and you can kind of interact and see them from anywhere outside, hopefully in the touch wood, hopefully in the
in the dry,
hopefully in the dry in the sun.
We usually get pretty good weather. It's very rare I've been in and I've got wet. It has happened, but it hasn't happened very often.
Why would you jinx that, man?
I know. I was just about to say. I always try not to talk too much about the weather. It's always sort of no, I try not to, but yeah, we have been quite lucky, but sometimes it does rain. That's okay.
Back to the guests. There's one thing I just wanted to ask. If you could have anyone, dream guest, alive or dead, performing, who would it be?
I presume you'd want someone alive.
No, but I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a very very respectful audience like for this. That's a good one. I mean, I was a massive Bob Dylan fan, obviously. For a folk festival, would be amazing. Crosby, Stills, Nash Young would be amazing. There's a guy called Warren Zevon who would love to book. Bill Withers for jazz probably would be up there, and then you got things like imagine the Supremes playing and stuff like that. Who would like to? I'm trying to think who would like to book. I mean, mostly jazz. Friday night, NWA.
Yes.
That'd be the one, wouldn't it?
Oh my god!
Yeah. I think
awesome.
I think most of Moseley would, wouldn't they? But
and an Ice Cube in Flakes after.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we get
fun.
Ice Cube. You never know.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. But Yeah, I think I mean it's endless, isn't it? You know, if you go for all the legends, like shoehorn the Beatles in somehow somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And all that stuff, you know. Jimi Hendrix, Joni Mitchell, because Joni Mitchell played at Newport Folk the other day, like for the first time. I mean, she's in the 70s since she had a brain aneurysm 7 years ago, and it was emotional, absolutely emotional. And so having someone like Joni Mitchell play at the Folk would that's in my head at the moment because of that's just happened. So that'd be really cool.
That could happen.
Well, anything can happen, you know. Yeah, I'm a very optimistic man. So yeah, and I like your optimism. It's good.
So yeah, back to this year's Moseley Folk.
Yes.
This podcast we're going out not shortly before it, you know.
Okay.
Who else is headlining?
So as I said, we've got the Fridays. You know, we've got Supergrass. They're supported by Kurt Vile, who I absolutely love. There's a real with folk festivals. They can be quite, I'm happy to say they can be quite samey. Whereas we've got two bands, Kurt Vile and Midlake, playing a Sunday, which are just like uber cool, Americana, guitar led. You know, and they've definitely got folk origins, maybe American folk, but they've definitely got folk origins, and they've played with some of the biggest Americana artists out there. But I think they're really important. So we've got Kurt Vile on Friday, and the Weather Station, who was like Mojo's #1 album last year. Bess Atwell, who's one of the best up-and-coming artists at the moment. Simon Armitage, the poet laureate, he's got a band called, they spell Lyr, which I imagine is liar or liar, but I'll ask him when I see him. But they're the headline in the second stage, and that's him reciting poetry over really like cinematic music, which I think is just going to be mega before Supergrass. And then Saturday, C6 Steve, who just played and sound like he ripped apart Cambridge Folk Festival, which is really cool. He'll be playing with like Longest Johns, who had the big sea shanty thing over lockdown, which I'm not going to sing for you. And then on Sunday we've got a combination. We've got the Coral, who they've played before, and they've just, funny enough, they've just celebrated 20 years since they released their first album.
Yeah, I didn't realise that till the other day on the radio. I was like, that can't be 20 years.
Oh, it's scary.
Oh, no,
I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, no. But this is it. It's like, well, I'm glad they're still playing, but it means what's happened.
I know, yeah. When you were old, when it came out, old enough to be out drinking.
Well, this is it. Yeah, I was out watching.
Shit.
Yeah, I was out. I was out in Snobs. Watching it. Jumping around to their music. But the Coral, and then they're playing with Jethro Tull, who's like an absolute heavyweight of the kind of prog folk rock world. And Midlake, Alice Mitchell, and John Cooper Clarke as well on that day, the Manchester poet.
Yeah.
So it's a real mad combination this year, and I love it. I think there's certain boxes that I really try and tick every year of bringing the legendary artists in, the new artists in, the cool American artists, strong female artists, poetry, and just artists from different backgrounds playing different genres of music, and it feels like we've really nailed it this year. And there's like comedy on as well. So each night there's comedians in the art stage. So I think we've just got it feels like a really sweet year. So I'm excited about this year.
Tom Ford's playing again this year.
Yeah.
The folk.
Yeah.
Jazz. Do you have many people that play the jazz and then play the folk the same year? Because Tom Ford, Bowman's best guitarist, getting it out there. He's awesome.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Check him out.
But yeah, we I'm sure we do. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, there's serial players. There's players that will turn up at every fest every year and be like, "Oh, you're in that band now." It's like, and I love that.
Yeah.
So fair play.
Well, I've seen him several times just in other bands when he's been there.
Well, why wouldn't you? He's great. So everyone kind of goes, "Oh, can you come and join us for this?" And it's like, yeah, okay. So no, I don't think there's too much crossover. I don't think they're really, they're nice scenes. They've got their own little things going on. It's really cool. So every year you kind of bring back little groups of people to the park, and sometimes I don't see people all year to the festival. So when you do, it's lovely.
Is there many acts or any acts that you've had on that have been low down on the list, say years and years ago, and now you think, I don't think we could get them back now? They're too big.
I mean, the one that really was really funny, well, it's not funny, but it was, Blossoms. So Blossoms played Moseley Folk in 2016, and we paid a few £100 for them, and they played the second stage, and no one knew who they were. And they're really good. And I was like, I listened to them, that's what booked them. I was like, yeah, definitely want them, they're going to be great. And they released their album 3 weeks later, went to #1. And I was like, oh, why did he? You've already done that 3 weeks before.
I know.
But he's like, yeah, the album went to #1. And then next tour, they'll play at Academy. And I was like, wow, that's pretty nuts, kind of how quickly something can shift, But obviously they had a plan, and they were just out road testing stuff. I'm trying to figure out else. There's the small ones that have really grown. I It's hard to think off the top of my head. But yeah, Blossoms were the ones that really stood out.
That's a pretty big one at the moment.
Yeah.
Well. They're huge.
Oh, for sure. Look, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty that I remember afterwards. But that was one I always remember because of it was literally, I can't remember, it might have been more than 3 weeks, but it's pretty soon after. And I was like, oh, you heard this Blossoms? I was like, yeah, playing Moseley Folk. I'm like, did they? I was like, yeah. Like, second on the main stage. Second stage, sorry. That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
I didn't realise there was 2 stages.
There is.
Yeah, it's ever so clever how it works because one stage finishes, and you get to Glastonbury. If you just stay at the one stage all day,
Yeah.
you've got to wait 45 minutes
Yeah.
for the next band. They're finished. The stage is next to it, and that's just starts playing straight away. So you literally just turn your head from one stage to the other.
I can big it up because it wasn't my idea. It wasn't my idea. I wanted to be Irish Genius. Yeah, I thought of it. It was just, Carl, the director. I think it's Carl, the director. I mean, he might have seen it in America or Europe. I can't remember, but it very rarely exists in this country. And
I still haven't seen it. Anywhere else.
Same. I've never seen it, and I'm amazed I haven't seen it because it's perfect. You just literally sit there. You can sit there all day, and there's music non-stop. Maybe like 5-minute gaps. But what's really cool is you've got a big stage and a smaller stage. So at the Jazz, you can have DJs in between like the big bands. So we have like Craig Charles on a small stage, and it just goes off. But
DJ Yoda this year, that was
DJ Yoda was
phenomenal,
amazing.
that was.
Yeah,
I've seen him so many times anyway. He seems to love Birmingham. He seems to play Birmingham.
Yeah,
a
he was
hell of
playing
a
this
lot.
Friday. I mean, this will have gone out by then, but he's doing the Commonwealth Games thing at Smithfields with us on Friday, which is free, which will be good. So you should check that out if you like Yoda. But the other thing is, we have like smaller artists play the second stage. So in between the headliner and the band before, a local artist can come on and play. So they end up playing to 3,000-4,000 people, which is crazy. Rather than a stage around the field, and play to a couple of hundred. And this year actually we're starting because Janice Long was one of our great friends and compere for years, and she died in it was Christmas Eve actually, I think Christmas Eve. And so we started a bursary this year. So bands can apply. I think it'll be closed by the time this goes out. We would have picked a band, and they're going to play the first slot on the second stage on Saturday. And then throughout the year, we're going to put them in the studio, get a bio professionally written, get photos taken, get them advice, get them a slot on, hopefully on some radio shows, and then they'll headline the second stage in 2023. I'm just going to do that every year.
That's awesome.
So every year you've got the band starting on the second stage, and then you'll see them progress to the final slot on the Saturday. Now, hopefully that's just going to continue, and that's going to celebrate her name. And the second stage is going to be called the Janice Long stage now. And
awesome.
Yeah, so it's cool to keep that because she was, she always supported up and coming bands. And the stories, because we went to her funeral, and the stories there are just incredible. During lockdown, there was one artist that was a local artist. There's no fame attached. She didn't care about stuff like that. And he was in his flat. I don't know. It sounded like it was about 15 stories up. And he was getting a bit kind of bummed out, and he got a phone call, and it was Janice Long, and he answered the phone and said, "Look out the window," and she'd made a banner saying like "Keep your head up" or something like that to kind of And this is this is a Radio 2 DJ.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that I know that I saw in the street in the car and stopped them, had a CD on, I gave her, and she played it that night. And people just don't do that anymore. So it's really cool to be able to take that into Moseley Folk and kind of and thank her as well, and keep her memory and supporting up and coming bands alive. That's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, mate. We're coming up to an hour, which
Sweet.
is shocking. It's gone really fast,
It's
isn't
quick.
So it's like what happened if we met Morrissey. We just rambled into the night, wouldn't we? Just kept going, never ended. And there's no windows here, so it could have been like
I know, you got no
sunlight.
idea what time it
Could have gone through the night. You know what I mean?
No, we would have met Morrissey and we would have said, we went for this awesome burger, and then he would have just walked out.
Oh yeah. You're not allowed to sell meat at gigs that Morrissey plays.
No.
It stops all the vendors.
What does say?
Yeah, it's famous for that.
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's you have to
I don't know.
rebrand
I'm
everything.
surprised. I'm not surprised.
I know, you shouldn't be spared. Anything happens. With them.
That's it.
Was there anything you wanted to bring up, or
No, other than I'm presuming tickets will still be available by this time this goes out. If you've never been before, I hope this our chat has sold it. Coerced you. I don't think you'd be disappointed. I think most people that come, it's. I remember the first time I walked into that park, and I had no idea it was there. And there was a festival on. It was, walked into Moseley Folk, and it blew my mind. And I just think that's still happening to people today. So hopefully that will be one of the listeners this year.
No, it's one of the only things that's in my calendar every year that I'm doing.
There we go.
I know without a doubt.
There we go, guys. There you go.
So you get to meet me on it.
Yeah,
every Friday
this
you'll
is
meet
it.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Giving away free beers at the bar. That's what I heard. Buying out with the
maybe
cards.
that one.
He's sweating and the air conditioner's
I know,
full.
yeah, it's getting hot now.
Panicking.
Did you have questions?
Yeah, I'll ask you a couple of questions. This would be a good one. These are just questions just about you, simple things you should know the answer to them. They're about you.
I hope so.
I'll start with this one. What's your favourite band or artist?
Oh, well, it's funny because bands. I think age has a factor. I just went to Glastonbury and Libertines were playing at 11:30 in the morning. I went to watch them, and I was like, I'll go and watch for old time's sake. I knew every word, so from when I was a kid. But favourite bands, obvious ones again: Bob Dylan, Beatles. They're given. Obscure one, probably. Well, they're called Sea Power now, but British Sea Power. Just that album, I've had to buy about 3 copies because I've just rinsed it. So yeah, I'll probably still say soft spot for Sea Power.
It's not bad. I said them. The only time I've seen them, it was a secret gig at Glastonbury. So,
Nice.
Glastonbury, they're all secret gigs.
Yeah.
And they weren't even on any lineup. They weren't supposed to be there at all when I was there.
Wow.
We just walked past the tent. It was just wrote on some chalk on a little board
Oh
Like,
yeah, the Crow's Nest
with an arrow.
Yeah,
Just
that's I
I'll
know
pop
the
in
one.
there then, see what's going on here.
Yeah, no, that's a great plan. I know the one you're on about where they do that. It's wicked. There's so many bands and they don't advertise it.
No, I
Yeah,
had
it's
no
really cool.
idea they were on
You
there.
have to go
It
and
was
have a look
awesome.
every morning, see who's in the biggies. But yeah, I'd say they're probably. I mean, do I listen to that much these days? I don't know. Yeah, soft
I
spot.
think you're allowed a favourite band or a soft spot for a band and you don't have to listen to them all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like this with one of my favourite ever bands, and I'm seeing them because I'm going to the last day of Reading Festival this year to see Rage.
Yeah,
Against the
okay.
Machine.
Yeah.
But I can't listen to them too much
Yeah, it's interesting.
because
isn't it?
otherwise I'm like, well, I'm just sick of them now.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But I need gaps with them.
Yeah, I think that's a healthy thing.
Mm.
I think British Sea Power, they're the kind of band that if I've had a pint in a pub and someone, if I had a few drinks, I'll probably end up tearful of they're the best band in the world, mate. You got to go and see them. If you're not one of those, no, don't go away. Haven't ran you through album 3 yet. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not passionate. I think a lot of their fans like that. So yeah, I'll stick with them for now.
That's a good one. What's your favourite TV show?
It was really funny. I mean, my dad watched we watched the first episode. Do you remember a program called Dream Team?
Yeah, the football thing. I was on Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
And I used to watch it every week. And I was a kid, I was like 10 at the time. And it was like every week I had to watch it. And I rewatched the first episode the other day. It's like Hollyoaks. It's really crap. It's like,
It's even got some of the same people in it as
I
well.
think it has. The acting's terrible. Favourite TV show? That's a really good one. I do watch a lot of TV. It's like, Netflix series and stuff like that. I mean, you've got the obvious ones like Simpsons and stuff. I mean, I'm Alan Partridge.
Yeah.
Is my life, my humour's probably just developed from that character. I think it's and all my mates and The Office, I guess. And I don't know more recently. What's good recently? I mean, I like all the documentaries on Netflix.
It's a lot of good documentaries.
There
on
is.
Netflix. They really had to do a documentary.
Yeah, and there's always like a real they've always got you in a real comfort zone. Then it twists and you go, oh my god.
The music documentaries are great as well.
They
The
are.
Defiant ones. That's a stunning documentary.
It is, yeah.
Anyone should watch that.
Agreed. Yeah, no, it's really good. What was the one? There was a BBC documentary. The guy is called Hypernormalization.
Yeah.
It's it's like 3 hours long. It's a beast, but it's kind of running up to how Trump happened,
Ah, right.
and that's mind melting. That's like, oh my god, are we the bad guys? It's like, that kind of thing. It's but yeah, I love stuff like that. So yeah,
That's a good one.
I recommend that highly.
What's your favourite movie?
Oh, I mean, again, there's one that it's not my favourite movie, but it sticks out because I remember my dad took me to see it when I was about, I think I was 8 at the time. It was the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's a good
And
film.
It's a good film, the first one. And I was 8, and obviously I shouldn't have been in the cinema at 8 watching it. I don't know what rating it was, but it feels young.
It was a PG, I think.
Was it a PG?
So I remember going with my brother, and he'd have been about 8. I think.
Terrifying. But it was the first. It was the first memory I have of just being in awe. I mean, sat in cinema, it's a massive screen, and there's a dinosaur. There's this dinosaur that's like it is real. It's absolutely real.
Yeah. It looks like
And
It looks
yeah.
like an actual fucking dinosaur.
Well,
It still does now. It looks
Yeah.
like a dinosaur.
Well, there was a sweet spot, wasn't there, before they? I don't know what the terms are, but before they went too technical. Like if you watch like an early Lord of the Rings and they're using like just computers,
Yeah.
you go, oh god, that looks a bit crap. But then you go to Jurassic Park and you go, oh wow, that looks
Yeah,
really
they
good.
built
And-
dinosaurs.
yeah, they actually built the thing, So that's really cool. But what else? Oh, I'm gonna again. This is one I'm gonna think of loads. I watched Captain Fantastic the other day, which is Just go and watch it. That's really good. That's a really kind of feel good film.
I'm gonna write that one down.
And then classics, Goodfellas, Godfather.
Awesome.
I like stuff like a really boring. Well, I'm not allowed this to be my favourite movie. My partner, she hates that I watch it so much. But you ever watched The Big Short?
I love that film.
Yeah.
I watched that film at 10. I think it's so well
I
done.
love that film.
So well done. And it's like my hangover film because I know if I fall asleep, wake up, it's like, okay, I know where I am.
They've done an absolute amazing job of making something really complicated, just really simple and funny.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
How they've worked humour into that. I have no idea.
It's a really well made film.
Especially if you've ever do you read up on Michael Burns?
Yeah.
Very strange
He's
character.
a very strange character. But it's one of those. If I said here that my favourite film was Big Short and my partner heard that, she'd be like, John, stop. Because I just watch it too much. It's like a comfort thing. But weirdly, the guy that made that, and I don't know what you guys think about this. I'll tell you my opinion first. He made Don't Look Up. Same director made Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
I just hated it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I loved that. I did.
I know. It's
But
weird.
I don't know if I loved it, but it also felt very close to the bone.
Yeah, I can't work it out.
Because I think, did it come out just as... It's hard to remember where we were with COVID, and it was like, basically this is happening now. Scientists are telling us that this is very dangerous and we should take it serious. And then people are like watching the news and saying, nah, my friend on Facebook.
Auntie Doris on Facebook says this.
But it's weird, isn't it? It's like, so I've got one film in Big Shot I love, the same director. Maybe that was the hype. Maybe I thought, he's going to be my second favourite movie, that, and it just, I don't know, didn't land for me. But
also climate change, which is what it's really about, isn't it? And we just had the hottest day in the world, and our hottest day on record, and I still have people. I work around construction sites and stuff, and there's still a few old boys who just read the sun. I remember 76 and it was bad and hot, and every summer was like this. And no, mate, we have records. We have records, and this is saying that this is hotter than any of that. I promise you.
Your memory.
It's
not as good as official records.
It's mental, and that's exactly what that film's like.
People just it's true. No, I definitely. I get the frustration of it, but it's weird. So I think again, I probably think of loads more, but they're a cluster of my favourite films.
Yeah, mine. It switches regularly.
Yeah,
it's usually Predator.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Because
good choice.
It's just absolutely faultless from start to finish.
I love sport films as well.
Yeah.
Really tacky sport. It could be anything.
Did you watch Hustle? Adam Sandler?
Yeah. I liked it.
I liked that.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, you keep saying it's good. I want to see this.
But again, I like sports. So, I watched some terrible sport films. I'm like, it's like Remember the Titans.
I love that film.
Great film.
Yeah.
What was that?
You don't make a bad film.
No.
Mighty Ducks.
Moneyball. Moneyball's like the other one I'm not allowed to watch.
I want to see. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm really desperate to see.
I think Netflix took Moneyball off my Netflix. So I was watching it too much. I'm sure that happened. I think that happened.
Blindside,
classic.
Yeah,
and when you say Sandra Bullock, people go nah, but it's good. Yeah,
that as well. Yeah, really
but now I'm at the problem is I'm now at the bottom. I'm in like the dirge of sports films, and I'm watching them going, I know this is terrible.
Did you watch Friday Night Lights, the TV program? Had Michael B. Jordan in it.
Did you know?
That was class. Awful, but class.
But this is it. This is it. So, I don't know. It's, mate, I'm getting older and just finding comfort in like things that I know.
The ice hockey one? That was great as well. Another famous one. It's got the locker room speech. Al Capone? No, Al Pacino.
Oh, there is one, yeah. I don't know.
He's doing the tour.
I know the film you're on about. I thought you were going to bring up the one with your man from American Pie, where he's the one that the enforcer.
Oh, the goon. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
That's what
you
want to bring up.
Oh, have you seen Warrior?
No.
The two brothers, the MMA film, the UFC film. No, that's class as well. Who is it? Tom Hardy.
I know the one you're on about. Yeah.
That's always on Netflix.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I've got some watching so over the weekend. That's good.
Awful. Just for anyone listening, that these films are awful.
These are recommendations. These are
films that we love that are just awful.
Yeah. So please don't. All the other stuff, do check out that section.
This isn't the Radio 2 film.
Yeah, exactly.
Show, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite bar or pub in Birmingham?
A favourite bar? Oh.
Or is that too?
No, but I love Hare and Hounds because
Yeah,
I've had
it's great,
loads,
isn't
and I'm really good friends with Matt and Adam, and I know how much work they put in, and how passionate they are. I mean, Matt, as a booker, is incredible. I mean, Adam is too, but Matt is just, it's all he does. Like, he's obsessive about it.
Well, they've got
in a good way.
Katie J. Pearson on soon, and I'm going to that, and you're going as well.
That's my gig.
Oh, it's your gig.
There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just about to sell out as well.
I'm amazed there's any tickets left.
Yeah,
like,
no, same.
I got that, and I was like, they'd only just been released, and I thought I got them straight away because I'm on, what's the app I've got now? Songkick or something like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You get
As soon as a
alerts.
tracked artist comes up, I get an alert telling me.
Yeah.
Because I've missed out on so many gigs now
Yeah.
that it just winds me up.
No,
So,
it's clever. Use the technology, you know.
yeah.
But no, yeah, Katie J's ours, which I'm really excited
Oh,
about.
that's all. I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
gig.
no, same. Favorite bars, yeah. I mean, Herod, it just goes without saying. I love those guys. I mean, I love the breweries. I love Attic. You know, Dig Brew's cool. A Glass House. I love those. Herbert's Yard now for me. You know, it's the place to go because it's just, you know, as I'm representing.
Yeah, you went the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, I went last week or the week before. It was
Yeah,
brilliant.
let's try that one.
It is brilliant,
Really
man.
impressed.
And you don't expect it, do you?
No.
You just like, okay, we're going to be 31. I mean, it's literally a 5-minute walk from my house. I'm so lucky. So it's like, okay, if I want food Thursday to Sunday, I'm there. And you know, you can get good beer, and it's getting better and better as well. So that's going to be a staple. So I love that place. There's a weird little bar called Jojo Jim's.
Used to be the arcade at Nicky Hills.
Yeah, I keep seeing this come up, and I really want to go there, but
that's
it's so
funny.
out of the way for us to get to.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure somebody said to me the other day that the person who owns it, the family have had it for like 100 years or something.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's pretty wild there. But they serve really good beer. They serve Day Out on tap, which is my
It's a
favourite beer.
winner,
Yeah.
It's a winner all day.
In fact, like steady rolling, man. It's just I just love it, and very rarely do I see it on tap. And then, you know, place like the old Mo. I love the old Mo sitting in there. And yeah, look, I mean, I love pubs. You know, what I mean, it's but you know, literally just to go there, sit, have 1 pint of Guinness, a cheese cob, open up a pack of crisps. If there's a pub quiz on,
You're away. That's why I love the Jeweler's Arms.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
And just sit there and just sup beer all day.
Yeah, man.
Old school beers as well.
This is why I'm working hard as I can, so I can retire early, just so I can just focus on my true love,
Drinking.
of pub quiz and drinking. Yeah.
That's it, I think.
That's us.
Amazing, guys. Thank you.
Really appreciate you
Thank you
taking
for
out
coming on.
time. I know how busy you are, man. So really grateful you come and done this, man.
Yeah, it's been a really nice chat. So it's to disconnect the phone and a laptop that's sat next to me on silent. It's an absolute dream. So yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Lovely, John. Cheers.
Thank you.